my goal in 2024 is I want to buy 100 different units, 100 different rentals. And for me to do that, if for me to do that with subject to transactions, that means I had to talk with 100 different sellers, 100 different properties, 100 different problems, 100 different personalities, and 100 different transactions. It's just way too much work, and I try to be as very efficient as possible. So I transitioned my business over to more seller finance, and I've had really good success with it. And I want to tell you a couple of stories as to why this is a great business model to switch over in 2024. Because I'm coming from a perspective of, okay, I've done sub two deals and now I'm doing seller finance, and I know what it's like to do both of them. So that's what this Zoom is going to be about. And so a couple of weeks ago, I just closed on my very first seller finance deal with this particular homeowner. His name is Tom. And Tom goes, and I bought this deal from a wholesaler. So he brought the deal to me, and he goes, "Hey, do you want to buy this condo in Mesa, Arizona on seller finance?" And the deal was, it was 3.5% down or 4% down, right? It was $15,000 down on a $250,000 house. So I don't know, Burton, what is that? 5% down, 6% down, something along those lines. Let's say it was 5% down, and I got a 5% interest rate on it and a 10-year balloon with 40-year term, right? Usually you schedule the mortgage payment for 30 years, but in this particular homeowner was like, you know what? I'll extend my payment for another 30 years, for 40 years instead of 30 years. So I said, okay, well then, and consider a deal. So we ended up going under contract on that particular condo on seller finance at the exact same terms that I just explained to you. 2 weeks ago, I closed my escrow on that transaction, and I called the homeowner because I didn't negotiate the deal with the homeowner. So I was dealing with the wholesaler particularly, and I called the homeowner. I said, "Hey Tom, my name is Kevin Choe, and I'm the guy that will be making you payments for the next 10 years. I want you to know who I am, so that if something ever happens to any of the transactions, if we're late on the payment, whether the servicing company doesn't distribute out the payments on time, whatever, I'm the guy that needs to call. And if you ever have issues with the condition of the house, you call me and you let me know how I can fix it for you, right?" So, and then he goes, "You know what? I want to see who you are in person." So him and I we scheduled to meet up a week and a half ago. So I go over to his Airbnb, one of six Airbnbs that he has, all in Mesa, Arizona. And as soon as I get there, he's like cleaning the epoxy floor on the garage door, on the garage. And he's like, and I'm like, "Hey, are you Tom, by the way?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, my name is Tom. Nice to meet you. I'm the owner of the house. You bought my house, blah blah blah." And I was there for about an hour and a half, and we just chatted about like how he got started in real estate, what his portfolio looks like, what he wants to do, and all that stuff. And as I was leaving the appointment, and mind you, I did not go in with any intention of getting another deal. I just went in there with the intention of, okay, I just want to make sure that that I'm legit. And as I'm walking out the house, he goes, "You know what, Kevin? I told you what my goal is. I want to retire in Australia with my wife, but it's really hard for me to do that because I'm cleaning all six of my Airbnbs every single time. So sometimes the cleaners, the guests will leave at 10 or 11, and I spend 3.5 hours cleaning and just cleaning the house, and then I spend another hour and a half just making sure everything is tight and it's ready for the next guest to come in. And sometimes I have two turnovers in one day, and I clean the house from 10 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m. And I'm just really getting tired. Like I'm nearing the retirement age, and I'm just getting tired. So he goes, "How about this? Over the next 24 months, I want to retire, but I don't want any management. So, and I have 18 other properties, all within 3 mile radius, all free and clear, and I want to seller finance you one of them as they become vacant, right?" So, and I'm like, so he has 18 other properties that he will seller finance me with the exact same terms: 5% down, 5% interest rate, 40-year term, and with a 10-year balloon, and all with one seller, right? So over the next 24 months, I'll buy his entire portfolio all on seller finance, one at a time. And I was kind of like going back and forth because at that time my partner and I were still buying a lot of sub two deals, and we're like, you know what? Like, this is just so much work. Like, Lorraine does so much work. I do a lot of work. My partner CC does a lot of work just for one deal. And I'm like, I got 18. I have opportunity to buy 18 other properties just from this one seller. But I didn't have to go through 18 different sellers with 18 different, acquisitions with 18 different problems with 18 different personality. I just needed one time in my life for me to get to 18 properties. And mind you, I'm not buying I'm not buying all 18 of them all at once, so I can spread it out however I want. If I have too many in one month, I'll just tell Tom, hey, Tom, just give me a couple more months and then I'll be ready to buy, and then I can buy them as I'm available. So there's so much more flexibility. And I'm like, obviously, like I said, I can, and I don't buy Mesa a lot. My partner and I are focusing on Phoenix. So what I did was so I did a huge group of Zoom with all my private money lenders and all my loan sponsors. And this is what I told them. Hey guys, I have landed a relationship with this homeowner. His name's Tom, and he has agreed to sell me his entire 18 unit portfolio, single family homes, all on seller finance. And what I want to do is, because my partner and I don't really buy in Mesa, I want all my private money lenders who gave me 50,000, 45,000, $70,000. I had about 11 to 12 private money lenders on the Zoom. And I said, you know what? I want to give all these away to my private money lenders. And now not only are they my lenders, now they're investors. So that's the perk that I'm giving to my private money lenders, and that's kind of how I decided. So Tom and I are right now, we're working on our second seller finance deal. It's not going to be an Airbnb. It's going to be one of his long-term rental. It's going to be, it's like 100 feet away from the first condo that I bought, because he has, nine other condos all in the same community. So we know exactly what the numbers are. We're going to manage it for them. But and we're just waiting until the long-term tenant leaves, which is going to be end of April. So we have about 5 weeks until that house becomes vacant, and then I'll buy that house on seller finance. And okay, so as soon as I'm like getting these deals done, I call Burton. I'm like, Burton, I have found the new strategy, right? Like 2024, 2023, you know, I may have bought, all these homes on seller finance. I mean, all these homes on sub two, but I think I found a better strategy where if I just need 5 different sellers that maybe has 20 different homes, and that will seller finance me his entire portfolio. So I don't have to spend any more money on marketing. I don't have to keep spending money on skip tracing. I don't have to go through different difficult agents. And I'm like, you just need 5 times in your life for you to get to the number you're looking for. And which is the reason why I'm doing the Zoom. And couple of things before we get started into like burden use, sharing your screen and finding these seller finance opportunities for us, is there's benefits to doing seller finance, and there's benefits to doing sub two, right? And I think personally, in my opinion, if you're looking to build your portfolio, I think seller finance is the way to go. And I know I totally understand that is very against what I was doing in my business, right? Like in 2020, all I did was sub two, 190 different sub twos in 1 year. But now, like, 3 months into 2024, I'm talking about seller finance. And here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. A homeowner that was typically sell your house on seller finance, they usually have more than one house. I've went through every single seller finance deals that I have in my pipeline, and I come to find out, you know, they have they on average have 7 to 9 houses, all free and clear, and they're typically older demographic, right? So number one, homeowners that will sell your house on seller finance, they have more than one house. Number two, they're savvy investors, right? They're not well, so they're not the homeowners to change their mind last minute, right? Like when you're doing a lot of sub two deals, especially including when it involves foreclosures. Oh my God, I have so many deals that just fall through because the homeowners change their mind. But when I'm working on a seller finance deal, like very rarely, like do I ever have a homeowner that's like, you know what, I changed my mind. Like they know, number one, they got to a point where they have 7 to 9 homes free and clear. That's probably close to, I don't know, 3-4 million in real estate, all free and clear. So they know they're sophisticated. So number two, when they say they'll do it, they'll do it. And number three is when you there's usually you don't ever have to work with the bank, right? Like you don't have to ever worry about the due on sale clause, and you don't have to worry about servicer being changed, right? So like when I bought my primary residence, my servicer was Serve Bank. That was a mortgage company that I was with when I first bought it. And then now it's M&T Bank or something like that. And then now it changed the third time. So now like I'm making like on a sub 2D, I'm making payments to so many different companies because the note gets changed, right? The notes get sold and all that stuff, and it's like it's just a headache. It's nothing. It's not. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a headache. So the third thing is you don't ever have to worry about the do one sell clause or the servicing company being changed all the time. And number four is these are my private money. These are my potential private money lenders, right? Tom is sitting on a $250,000 liquid on top of all the property and all the cash flow that he has. So he says, "Hey, I love what you're doing. You're 23. I wish I did this when I was 23. I want you to if you ever have any big multifamily project that you want to that you come in front opportunities in front of you, can you please give me a call because I'm looking to get into multifamily." So he is now my potential private money lender, or even my private money even my partner on the long-term asset. So that's reason one number four why that's fourth reason why seller finance dominates into when you're building your portfolio. And number five, the biggest reason why, in my opinion, is the seller finance will dominate is because when you go above five units, a lot of the homeowners are offering seller finance, right? So I just checked out a 7-unit apartment building that the homeowners offering seller finance at 10% down, 5% interest rate, 10-year balloon with a 30-year term, and all those units are rented out for $790. And I can easily go in there and I can raise the rent, maybe midterm rental or long-term rental. On a long-term rental, I can rent it out for 18 to 1900 bucks. On a midterm rental, I can bring it up to 2500 bucks, right? So I have a way of me getting into this property, maybe 10% down, all on seller finance, and raise the rent and exit down the road. So most of the and when I was on the phone with the commercial broker, she goes, dude, like all the homeowners, they may not offer you seller finance at the end of the day, or they may not even give you favorable terms, but all the homeowners that has commercial buildings, they all understand how seller financing works, and some of them they bought it on seller finance, and now they're selling it on seller finance, right? So that's just five reasons why seller financing is the best way to go in my opinion, is because number one, because I mean for so many different reasons, but you have opportunities to buy 100 different rentals with maybe 5 different sellers, maybe 10 different sellers, and you can do repeat businesses with that. And now I'm throwing a big meetup here in Arizona in April, and Tom has agreed to come to my meetup and be one of the speakers, right? Like, and mind you, Tom has never made in his job. He said he has never made more than $135,000 a year. Like these are the people that did the traditional path of building and building and building, and now he's 60 something. He's about to retire, and now you get to buy all of them in 24 months. Like I don't need to go through the whole 45 years of just buying one house every 5 years and paying them off over time. I can just buy all 24 of them and accelerate your buying capacity. Enough said. Enough said. I want to hand this off to Burton, because Burton, you are. I mean, this is your jam. Like I want the audience here to be able to find seller finance list on PropStream, and I tried doing it, and I feel like there's a better way of doing it, and I'm gonna make you co-host so that you can share your screen and people can ask you questions and things like that.
I loved your story. I really do. And the reason I say that is, I've been working at PropStream since 2013, and I travel and I do a lot of demos, and I do corporate trainings where they fly me out and I'm in an office training people in their training rooms and whatnot. And every now and then, I'll come across someone who shares a nice story about how they solve someone's problem. And in that problem solving journey of theirs with the homeowner, same scenario. They discover that the homeowner has other properties. And so this was a common occurrence. Like the way they solved the problem was always different, but the like identifying that they had other properties would
Right.
always come up. And just seeing the energy of the person that's sharing the story change the moment they say, "Oh yeah, and guess what? They had other properties." Um, that stuck with me quite a bit. And so the reason I'm sharing the story with you is because obviously when we first launched PropStream, we had none of this data that you see today. And along the way, when we started hearing stories like that, our team kind of started thinking outside of the box. So what we did to identify people with portfolios, just so I could share with you guys, is we looked at their tax address, right? If you like own 10 properties, yes, you might buy them under an LLC, or one of them might be under your name, or five of them are under your name and five are under your LLC or a trust or whatever it may be. Um, but most of these portfolios will send their tax address or their tax bill, I should say, to one address. So you have 10 properties, but you take all their tax bills and you send it to one PO box or one property address. And when we discovered that, that's when we released our linked properties tab. And that's what we're going to be honing in on because that's exactly the strategy that Kevin's going after. And I love how he said that. He's like, I could talk to either 100 different personalities and 100 different cases, or I could just find five people with 20 properties, right? Or 10 people with two properties. I mean, or, you know what I mean? Or the math's wrong there. 10 people with 10 properties. So there's really like I like how he's instead of going down up, he's kind of working up down. So with that said, now that you know kind of the algorithm of how we've captured it, let me show you actually how to take full advantage of it with some additional filters or best practices I would encourage you
Yeah.
to apply. Okay.
Yeah.
Victoria, the name of the feature is called Link Properties. And you'll discover that in two areas. One, when you're filtering for leads, and in the other area would be when you're searching a property. When you're looking at the property's detail, you might see a link property tab next to the tax info tab.
Yeah.
And that tab will indicate the amount of properties they have and the addresses and whether it's single family or vacant land, and we'll even tell you which ones are financed and which ones are not as well.
Hey
So
Jessica, hey, oh,
with
before wait, Burn, before we get started. Hey Jessica, so can
yeah.
you? It looks like my Zoom has capped at 100, even though I thought I paid for it to bring additional 900 people on there. So I don't want to mess the flow. So we're just gonna, hey guys, the Zoom has been capped at 100, and if you leave, you probably won't be able to come back. I'm just gonna let you know the participants it has been at 100, and I thought I paid, and I'm pretty sure I paid for 1,000 people max, but I think I paid for the webinar and this is not a webinar, so it's a huge mistake. But I'm just letting you know, if you're on the Zoom and you leave, there's like 30 people on the waiting list and you will not be able to come back. So don't, if you're like trying to convert from one phone to another, um good luck.
So yeah, guys, the feature is link properties, and again, you're going to find them in two different areas. One when you're filtering for leads, and the other when you're pulling up a property's detail. You'll be able to see if that homeowner or that business has multiple properties. As I mentioned, not only will you be able to see their other properties, you'll have the address. You'll see if it's a single family, a vacant lot, perhaps a multifamily property, and we'll even show you which ones are financed and which ones aren't.
So here's the thing about working especially on seller finance deals is you will run into, it's like last year when I did the Zoom and we pulled a list in Maricopa County, there was about 320 no equity homes. And a lot of people were like, Kevin, that's too small of a list, blah, 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 blah. But do you know how many people ended up getting sub two deal from that small list? 320 people, small list. There was about probably 65 sub two deals that came out of it, right? So when you're working with a sub two list, you're definitely working with a smaller list, but it has a way higher conversion rate. And to be honest with you, on seller finance, you will have a lower conversion rate than sub two, right? Because sub two, they have no other option. Seller finance, they don't have to sell if they don't want to.
Right.
But the moment you land one relationship, one relationship is equal to probably 10 different deals. So when you're like, okay, the homeowner has, I'd rather do 10 sub twos because they have higher conversion rate. When you go to seller finance, one deal will really get you one deal is equal to probably 10 to 20 different deals. And you just need to find that one seller. And here's the craziest part is Tom, he goes, if I can seller finance you my entire portfolio and it goes really well, I'll bring you a couple of my other friends so that if they want to seller finance their portfolio, that they'll seller finance, they'll give you first dib, right? Because it's like, they hang out with, it's like we sub two students, we hang out with other sub two students. We know what we're doing. So when you're working on a seller finance deal, and the homeowner, it has 10 different houses, they probably know at least one or two other two friends that have other homes on seller finance. I mean, I
Like
mean,
you
I
said,
mean, the referral game alone in a seller finance is incredible, right? So, Larry, I think you were on the Zoom on Monday where I called a listing agent. She has 7 units Arcadia,
yeah,
1.7 miles away. I drive by it, and she goes, you know what? I sold 4,000 quadplexes here in the valley, and probably 30% of them were sold on seller finance. Does she not know all these homeowners that have quadplexes here in Maricopa County that's willing to seller finance? Like that one relationship alone, I genuinely think that my relationship with that agent will allow me to get at least 50 doors this year. Well, hey, Burton, can we? I know we have 113 people on the Zoom right now. Can we give away like 12 different 1 month free prop stream kind of thing?
Yeah, you know what? I
So,
could actually do
so
better if you want. We could probably do because I like 1 month might not be enough for some of you guys. So how about we do like 12 2 month giveaways? Because I think 60 days would give you guys enough time to kind of, really soak in the technology and then make sure you're taking advantage of the data as well. So let's just
wow.
up it to another month. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Let's do that. What I need though is like however you decide who's gonna win that or get credited the 2 months. I just need to make sure I have their first and last name and their username, not your personal email, but what you use to log in if you already have an account. If you already have an account, let me know that, and that way I can add those 2 month credits to yours. If you're a new user, just give me an email you're going to use, and that way our team can credit you 60 days instead of the natural 7 days you get. So I like that. That's a great strategy, and good luck to those that win that. And yeah, so great suggestion, Kevin.
You will have to email Jessica because I don't want to be the one to pick it. So Jessica, you are in charge. Please send Jessica an email and I'll have her pick pick out 12 users, right, Burton? 12 different users.
Yeah, that's correct. So 12 users, and then what we'll do is we'll credit you guys the 2 months. So whether you are a current user or a new user, it applies to both. And good news, it looks like we're back up and running as well. So I could
Um,
wait, and then we can get into the screen sharing right after.
and just FYI, I have been a user for PropStream for over 4 years. When I first joined, Burton, I don't think you know this story, but I joined under Max Maxwell for about 3 years, up until
Hey, good
I
old Max.
until I became an affiliate, right? So I've been a PropStream user for 4 years, and I this is something that I would still use even if I was not affiliated with them. Okay, so and my part. I've done 90 sub two deals. I mean, I've done over 100 plus creative finance transaction, all from PropStream. I just came back from seeing a 3 unit multifamily, all on seller finance, 5% down, 6%, 6.5% interest rate with a 10-year balloon. I just came back from it at 8:30 this morning. I found that deal on PropStream. I'm going under contract on a 2 unit. I forget the address of the house, but I also found that on PropStream. And then I bought a 702 West Pepper Place, found it on PropStream duplex. 3753 East Polk Street. Taking over somebody else's mortgage payment. Bought it for 10 grand down. Found that on PropStream. So all my business has been around PropStream. And when Burton's giving you 2 months of PropStream, like that would be ample time for you to go get a deal. And I have and just in the last 3 days, just in the last week, I have about 2 hours of seller finance calls on my YouTube. So there's really no reason why you should not be like when you get free 2 months of PropStream and you have all these resources on YouTube, on my YouTube and Pace's YouTube, everybody should be able to get a deal. Okay. So Burton, all to you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And again, thank you guys for your patience and shout outs to my dev team. You guys are awesome. Sorry you had to pause the update. But yes, we're back up and running here. And so I believe the example was in Charlotte. So again, back to my point, the key component here is that you guys have the full ability to control our data set. And what I mean by that is you're not forced to pick a list. So where you can find linked properties or the ability to search for someone who has multiple properties is found in our ownership info. And so as Kevin brought up in his example earlier, he found someone who had like 20 properties. And so if you actually want to deliberately find those individuals, and let me zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see. Um, First off, again, it's in the ownership info, and it's this main filter here that says numbers of properties owned. And so in this scenario, if I just apply, let's say 20 to 40 properties, it's going to now source individuals who have that many properties in their portfolios, but it's going to source individuals and LLCs and trusts and whatnot. So if you'd like, you can also tell us exactly the type of owner that has this portfolio. So to Kevin's point, he came across an individual, not the LLC, not the corporate office that owns it. He came straight to the source or came across the source directly. And so I would recommend if you want to encounter the same scenario, start with individuals. Now, again, the cool thing about these portfolios, and some of them are owned by an LLC, and some of them are going to be under corporate, but not every property is going to be under that same LLC. And so every now and then there might be one property that's under that individual's name. So I would say to make things easier, instead of searching corporate and then looking through the results for that property with an individual name, just do the opposite. Search for the individual who has multiple properties. And in doing so, you now can hit close. There's really not much you can do after that. You just tell us the type of owner you're looking for, in this case, individual, with the amount of properties that you're looking for. Now, there are, again, some other things that you can add later, but if you're just looking for someone in the zip code or someone in the city with multiple properties, those are the two basic things. Who are you looking for? How many properties? Then you can hit close, and here on the right-hand side are your results. Now, where can you see their portfolio? It's in the property details. By selecting the address on the right-hand side, the property details card will appear. And then from here, you're going to want to locate the linked properties tab. So by selecting that, you'll be able to see most of the properties are under an LLC, Linwood Investments LLC, but every now and then one of the properties falls under the owner's name. And that's how we're able to identify it. Again, what our team did was we collect data from multiple different sources. That's the unique thing about PropStream. We're not a one source data provider, meaning we don't buy it from one source and then just hand it to you guys. Our data comes from multiple facets, MLS, tax data, pre-foreclosure data, and then we also create our own data, right? In this sense, taking that tax address and reverse engineering it. So this is the first approach to finding individuals with multiple properties in your neighborhood. Now, where we can increase the probability that you may potentially get a deal is what Kevin mentioned. Like he gave us a perfect example. He came across someone who's in their later years and they want to retire. They're tired of, working at that property. In that scenario, I would probably lean on using actually a quick list choice, and that quick list choice being senior owner. So senior owners in PropStream, what that represents are individuals that have either a reverse mortgage on their property, 25 plus years of ownership or more, or a senior citizen tax status on any of their properties. And so in Kevin's example, what I would do if I wanted to mimic that or duplicate that is I would select senior owner, make sure that senior owner has a property that's under one of their names. So select owner type individual, and then the property zone. And so again, if you're trying to get 100 properties, to Kevin's point, he only needs to talk to 5 people that have 20, maybe 25 properties. And as you can see, just by saying, hey, I need a senior owner who's an individual with 20 to 25 properties, he has the opportunity to speak to 197 individuals. And I always go by the 10% rule, which if he did market to 197 of them, I'm hoping that 19 of them would catch that type of marketing that he's using. And out of those 19, what's 10%, right? About what, two, three?
Yep.
So that's 50 properties right there, assuming you're willing to give his entire portfolio. But that's the idea is you can mimic this in multiple areas. Now, where it can help you guys get a little bit cleaner in terms of organization. A lot of people have asked, well, how do I save their portfolio? What we've included when you go into the linked properties is the ability to select those addresses. So here on the far left side, you're going to have the ability to select any of their individual properties under their name or all of them, and then hit add to list. So you can actually take their entire portfolio and add it to a marketing list. Maybe call it, Real Worth LLC's portfolio or John Carpenter's portfolio in this scenario. Now, some things to note as well when you're looking at their portfolio is you'll have the ability to click on any of their address. Doing so will open up a different property tab. So you'll be able to view that property. The property type is dead center. So you'll know which ones are single family, which ones are vacant lots, which ones um, are multifamily. Ownership length, also very important. I know people that utilize this feature. What they'll do is they'll aim for the oldest property and kind of go from there. And then finally, current loans. I think this is very, very, very important, knowing which of their properties has a loan and which ones do not, because I can dictate whether you're doing one strategy or the next strategy. Oh, and another thing to note, because we collect postal service data, that's our vacant data. On the far right side, you can also see which properties are occupied and which properties are vacant. So out of 22 properties zoned, it looks like one of them is currently vacant. That might be the address they're probably willing to start with. And then from there, domino effect from one address to the next, just like in Kevin's scenario, where it started with one, and lo and behold, it led to multiple properties. So filtering when it comes to finding multiple homeowners with multiple properties, your main filter is going to definitely be the numbers of properties owned.
Yep.
Best practice, make sure you apply owner type so you can identify that individual. And again, you're going to see their LLCs and whatnot, but every now and then one of them's under their name. If you don't care for that, then you can bypass that. And then finally, another added best practice is selecting a list. In Kevin's scenario, senior owners, but there are other things I've seen people do, like very sensitive, but I've seen people even do the deceased owner category. Like the person's passed away, and that individual, in this case, Tolly, had multiple properties under their name. So, again, you're dealing with someone who's no longer with us. So I'm sure the process is much different than someone that is with us. But these are the things that you can do. So, yeah, just wanted to start there. Do you guys have any questions in regards to the numbers of property owned filter or where you can locate the linked properties tab?
Make
And
sure
if you
you
do,
make sure you raise your hand, and Burn and I will pick your pick you, and so we can answer all the questions for you. But Burn, I do want to share my screen because
yeah, let me go
I
ahead
do
and
want to,
stop mine really quick. Here you
yeah.
go.
So I do want to share this. So this is a house that I own. So we have my partner and I have two different LLCs, and this is we just kind of capped out of this LLCs particularly. So Work Winder LLC, that's one of our two LLCs that we have. My partner and I are not big time investors. We aspire to be, but I think what something that I would have done differently was I would definitely go after homes that I cut it out at individual, but I think I would definitely want to add more homes that's as a corporation, right? Because when I put in the filter as a company or corporation, it I always thought they were Open Door, Zillow, OfferPad, but then I am a company. myself. And if I had all my houses free and clear, and I'm 65, I might be open to seller financing them, right? So I think what going to Burns, to support Burns' point, you just I think what you want to really look at the end of the day is the number of properties that the homeowner has, right? So this one, for example, this is a house that I bought from the homeowner, and let's Tom Hoverson, he's the one that holds the note, and he has I don't know if there's is there any way for me to look at this person's information particular? Burn.
In terms of like, I guess you could see the document number to the left, that loan. So you can potentially look at his information, like his signature and whatnot. I mean, if you're
I don't.
referring to like contact information, you would have to pull up a property that's under his name and then skip trace that. But the that loan type document number would probably be the best bet in terms of like seeing like who he is, if he really is the owner of the property and so forth.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
looking
and
at.
actually, I wanted to add to what you said just a few seconds ago, looking for corporations, because I also saw someone do this and I thought it was really clever. Um, Not that it's something that you guys should be doing or anything, but um, there's someone I came across who was looking to buy portfolios, but I thought what he did was clever. He was looking for LLCs that also had like bankruptcies or tax delinquencies. I
Mhm.
thought that was really clever. So like, hey, find me a corporation with, 10 to 20 properties, but they're in the bankruptcy category or they're in the delinquency category. And I thought that was clever because same scenario, right? Like just because they're a corporation doesn't mean it's all sunshines and rainbows. Sometimes there's mismanagement or just funds are not being used accordingly, and now they have to liquidate. And so I thought that was a clever approach of utilizing the numbers of properties owned
Right,
by searching corporations that are going through some financial challenges.
right. Yeah, 100%. Um, okay. So that's one way. Should we pull a list for maybe Maricopa County?
Yeah, let's go for it. Did you want to share your screen or did you want me to?
I'll have you do it because you're the expert. I'm
Yeah, let's go for it. Maricopa County. Here we go.
and we can probably, and then once we pull it, I'll just give it away to all the people that registered.
Absolutely. So Maricopa County, are we going to do the senior owners just like in your situation?
No, let's not just let's open it up a little bit more. So like let's go
Just
broader.
okay. So let's just look for all individuals and how many properties. And to your point, I like what you said. The more properties that we identify, the more likely it's either going to be like an open door, Zillow, or sometimes even a hedge fund. So for those that are going to hit like 500, just be wary of that. Um, we are going to show you the portfolios that have 500 properties, but it could be again large entities. So
I
whether
think
those guys are going to sell their entire portfolio or not, we'll see.
I think stopping at 10 to 25 is a very good range.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so individuals in Maricopa County, 10 to 25. And so give it a few seconds for it to populate since there's a lot of results. And then that should be it. You just want me to go ahead and save that list and then do you want me to email that over to you, Kevin?
Yes. Yeah, if you can email that over to me, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So
I
again,
do
for
want to
any or if
reiterate.
anybody's logging in, like you guys can do the same thing. So there
Well,
you
but
go.
I do want to reiterate that you can go more niche, or you can go broader, right? So what I'm
Yeah.
doing is, if I want to go niche, what I would probably do is I would add on market on there, so that we're going after all
Oh,
the
okay.
homes that the homeowner has more than 10 to 25 houses that's on the market for sale. However, I am starting a campaign right now where I'm looking for all the homes that went expire in the last 24 months that had 10 to 25 homes. And then I'm gonna set them on a mailer drip sequence so that every month or every other month I'll get one deal out of it. Right?
Oh, so you're doing two. You're doing an on market list and then one that's expired listings, right? Kind of give
Yes.
them a second option. I like that. That's smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there are multiple ways to go about it, but for me, I'm just looking for if I can finish off this year, 2024 with 10 toms, I'll be happy. And I have so I mean I just need one
think
time
I
every
might be.
single month for me to get there. So I
Oh,
got
I think we might.
so this is a strategy that would, it's not gonna take too much of your time. It's just, you know, you,
And again, I think it's a smart strategy that you're approaching where you're going from top down versus bottom up. Again, it's a common thing that happens. It's just that um, in the past it wasn't so easy to come across, right? Again, it was almost, I would say, at random that you would encounter someone with multiple properties. Um, but thankfully, again, because of individuals like you and previous users that would tell us what we needed to add and features that we need to focus on, there you have it. I think we are doing some weird updates again, so let me double check with it's either me or let me just stop sharing my screen for a second so we can answer some questions, but
yeah.
I think
I mean,
we might be
here's
down.
what we can do is we can always pull the list and I can just email it out whenever. But in the meantime, I mean, I have one hour with you, so I'll just answer all those questions while we have it.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's me. It looks like it's starting to work here now. So I probably should have plugged into my hard line instead of using Wi-Fi. But yeah, we have 14,795. We're in Maricopa County, and these are just individuals with 10 to 25 properties.
Can
And then
we?
did you want me to add the on market or the expired or just leave it at this?
Well, let's try on market right now. Let's just see let's see how small the list gets.
Right. So out of that, there are 159 addresses that are
Oh, that's
currently on
plenty.
market, and those owners have 10 to 25 properties in their name.
Yeah, yeah, and I bet you 90% of those of the 159 unique properties, I bet you 80% of them fully understand seller financing.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's cool about what you said too is you can actually really identify those by choosing list type. So like out of those that are on market, which ones are for rent, that are listed for rent or listed for sale. So out of those 159, 24 of them are listed for rent. So these homeowners are very familiar with dealing with tenants and, you know, rental prices and whatnot. Or to your point, if you want to expose someone who's never done that, probably focus on the forced sell. But just in general, if just looking at both for sell for rent, we have 159. And then you did mention earlier, like you even do the failed listings. So if we did that, you have 997 addresses that failed on the
Well,
market, and those homeowners have 10 to 25 properties under
I
their
have a
name.
great idea. How about we can add like words on the listing description, right? So if the owner
Yeah, you
like
can. You can
owner
search by what
finance,
was in the owner finance.
I mean that's a killer list right there. We can do owner finance.
Oh, it looks like we didn't show up. So let's see. Let's do finance.
Yeah, let's do finance.
It looks like none of them had finance in their description.
Really? I feel like they would.
Nothing, not any of those two.
Okay.
Oh, hey, look.
Who's messing with it? Is that you?
Someone might have touched their screen on. No, that's not me.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, sure. Like, let's just say we look at all the homes that was expired that have more than between 10 to 25 properties, and we put on one of the filter is finance or owner will finance, owner will carry. Oh my God, that's such a great list.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, I think that's probably why. It looks like this market, the descriptions are they're not so detailed out. And I think that's just this market. So like when we go to a different market with the same filters, the MLS board, and because no two MLS boards are the same, these guys probably do apply a description. And so, okay, they don't either. But so some markets, the agents will actually provide their full-on descriptions, and sometimes
Right.
they don't. And so I think that's why we weren't able to populate any in that market. Just trying to see if we can find one where these guys give us their full-blown description.
But this is where like I get super
There it
excited
is.
about it.
Yeah. So see, and that's the politics of data, where again in Maricopa County, we that description wasn't provided to data providers, right? When I searched Charlotte right now, same thing. The description wasn't provided. This is Denver, Colorado. And so in Denver, you have the description there. So to Kevin's point, Denver, that potentially could work, where I could say, hey, show me all the failed listings with multiple properties that have the word finance in it. And oh, okay, well, I guess none of them do, but in theory, as long as it has a description, it can populate. I just think for this market, Kevin, it didn't populate because most of those descriptions aren't provided.
Yeah, yeah. Like this is where my creative thinking comes from is I'll come up with an idea of why would the homeowner even finance the house, or why would the homeowner ever do a step two, and then I'll create a scenario and I'll turn that into a filter, and that filter becomes a marketing list, right? So it's like you just have to work backwards. Like what kind of avatar? Yeah, Na says what kind of avatar would homeowner fits a seller finance? You know, when Bern and we talk about it, owner a little bit older that have more than that have more than 10 houses but less than 25, and they have maybe owned the house for maybe more than 10 years or something along those lines, and you just get creative with it. All right, yeah, but that's the way I would do it. So now let's go back to answering some questions. I do want to answer Victoria's first because she had her hand raised for a long time. Victoria,
Hey, Kevin.
hey.
Hey, got a different question than I did beforehand. But so if I'm understanding the things that we're looking for, we definitely want to make sure that we're narrowing that search down so that we can pinpoint the goal that we have in mind, which is definitely the seller financing versus the sub two now. And you're wanting us to look at the criteria that he just gave us, Burton. Um, so is that for any state? Are you open to that? Or is it, just certain states that is your buy box right now?
Bert, you want to answer that?
Yeah, I mean, we're nationwide, so it really depends on how comfortable you are. And then also the thing to note too is that when you're looking at someone's portfolio, that portfolio is going to show you all of their properties, and so not just the ones that are in the same market, which is why we gave the user the ability to check off which addresses they want to focus on and add
Okay.
to a list and which ones they don't. So I would say it really kind of, I'm going to push it back on you. How comfortable are you stepping outside of the markets that you're currently in? Because if you are comfortable, then absolutely. I would say duplicate the same filters, senior owners, individuals with 10 to 25 properties. And you shouldn't go wrong there. Eventually, you might find certain things differently than others. Like you might come across maybe a military market. And so you might include maybe which properties have a VA loan. And that way you're able to identify who's a military veteran or not, right? And so I think just kind of start with the basics, the senior owner, individual 10 to 25, and then evolve from there. But just start there when you're duplicating it in other markets.
Okay. And then as far as that expired list versus the on market, should we separate those out so it'll be a little cleaner so we know what our focus is when we're making those phone calls every day? Because I get really focused on a certain type of lead and then I might get confused if I'm not paying attention really good.
I personally would. And the reason I say I
Okay.
would personally would is because yes, one is still on market, meaning you still have to work with the agent on that one.
Right.
Where the expired listings, those are off market. So, you know, you get to have fun speaking directly to the homeowner. And so, yeah, I wouldn't mix it together because
Right.
then your marketing might now be blended together, right? And so,
Right. Exactly.
don't want you stepping on toes when it comes to realtors. So yeah, I think you already had your answer in your head, which is I probably should, create one list for on market and then another list for expired, and then my marketing is going to be different. I'm marketing towards agents here, and then I'm marketing towards the homeowner for the expired and failed listings.
Okay. And then, Kevin, this question is for you really fast. The
Yes.
5 things that you gave us, why you've changed your focus from the sub two to seller finance, which I feel like I've just got a master's degree today because I definitely was working on the sub two.
Yeah.
Um, I just wanted to make sure I had clarity on that. So, can I just go over those 5 really fast?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one you said was most investors, they own more than one property, on average 7 to 10. So that's always a better strategy than doing just onesie, like one house at a time, right?
Right.
All right, number two, I think I heard you say that people might change their minds before closing. I had that happen. I'm a real estate agent here in North Carolina, and I understand that world quite well. So I
Okay.
liked that comment. And number three, I believe you said do not have to worry about the due on sale clause for sub twos. Seller finance, of course, wouldn't have that.
Due on sale cost
And
or
then
change of servicer.
and number four, I had changes of your servicing companies. That could change. Like, and when you say that, I believe you're referring to the mortgage companies because they sell their loans, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then number five, I didn't catch number five, so I don't know if somebody in the group did, but I'm not sure. Those are pretty strong reasons for me to kind of maybe switch my focus as well.
Yeah.
Because you've learned that already, so why not do a better practice? You know, you've already been there, done that, sold 90 units, so it just makes more sense to me that I'm so glad I was on here today to hear this.
Yeah, and this is coming from personal experience, right? So like for someone
Yeah,
that has done 90 sub twos in 1 year, and I don't think anybody really has done more than, more than 90 outside other than Pace, right? For someone
right,
that has, especially the acquisition side, wholesaling side, it's like there were of the 90 sub two deals, only two of them came from exact same homeowner or the agent, where the agent will refer another homeowner and say, hey, this homeowner has no equity. Do you want to take over their mortgage, right?
right.
So of the 90, I only got one seller to, I mean,
Bless you.
of the 90 deals, I got only two deals from the exact same seller or the agent, right? And
Right.
my game, at this point in my career is not to spend all this money on marketing and sales team. I'd rather have my sales team go find 5 times for me, and I don't even have to have sales team at that point. Does that make sense? Like it's, you know,
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Work smarter, not harder, and do it in quicker time. Enjoy life, time with your family. Time is money, so I love this strategy. I've just never really thought about it till today.
right,
So
right, right.
thank you,
Of course.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being patient.
Oh yeah, no problems. It's all good.
Yeah. And before I bring on another person, before I bring on Zach, I do want to say, if anybody needs help with structuring a seller finance deal, I will say if you go to dealswithkevin.com, hey Jessica, can you put that in the side chat below? Dealswithkevin.com, so that we can help you structure your deals, and maybe I'll be the end buyer, or maybe we help finding a buyer for you. So dealswithkevin.com, or you can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is Kevin Cho 12. Kevin Cho 12. Yeah, and Jessica, if you can copy my Instagram link on my on the desktop and put it on the side, put on the side chat, so people know, where to, people, if you send me a DM on Instagram, I'll help you structure your seller finance deal. There is an app. I I hate saying it in public, but I will say it because I mean people took time out of their day to be here with me and Burton. So when I first Burton, I don't know if you don't know the story, but when I first doing this no equity list, all these homes were bought within the last 12 to 18 months, and the tax records weren't updated. So I could never find the homeowner when I was skip tracing using old data. Like these homes were so recently bought that they're not updated when the time comes for me to update is find the homeowner. So what I would do is I did um background search on these people. That's what I would do. So there's an app called Forewarn, Forewarn, and I have and what I and they would ask for, and it's only for real estate agents. It's not supposed to be. It's not a skip tracing services. It's like if you're showing a house to somebody that you don't know and you want to do background search on them, you can figure out like what they if they have any criminal records. And I've never not been able to find somebody. Belinda, you missed out. You said, what's the name again? You missed out. You should have been paying attention. All right, let's go to the next question. Justin Rodriguez. There we
Yes,
go.
hello.
Hey.
Hey, Kevin. So I do have a quick question. So let's say you do come across one of these seller financing, but the seller, let's say the house is or the building is worth $1 million, but they have like $150,000 in a mortgage. So do you kind of just like what do you do at that point?
Then that would not be a seller finance. That would be a hybrid, a sub two take over their mortgage and then seller finance it.
Okay.
Yeah. But in this case, we're going after all the homes that have no mortgages on it.
Right. In this situation. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
mhm.
seller finance.
And also, I see your YouTube. I mean, your reels. How high of an interest rate is okay for you to do? Because I saw you talking about like 5%, 6%. So, like, what's like your threshold?
Honestly, I really don't want to go over 5.5% interest rate. That's my personal opinion.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Balloon, you like to stay at 10 years.
Huh?
And for your balloon, you like to stay at 10 years.
Yeah, 7 years is like my minimum. 5 years is too short. 7 years would be a good balloon.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Creative Mike.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, so I got a couple questions for you. So I've been also doing a lot of sub two deals. If you guys can hear me, okay. And I like the approach of the seller financing. I've also done a bunch of hybrids as well. Now, my couple of questions to you is when you're going to start going after these seller financing deals. Are you also going to do cold calling, or are you just going to stick to direct mailing?
I will do both. I will do both. But for me, I prefer to do SMS. So like I'll pull a list of all the homes that the homeowners have own free and clear, and maybe that's expired or active, and I'll just straight up pitch them seller finance. And so that I don't have so that I don't need to have a 3 salespeople team that I have to manage. Because for that, but that's just my preference. I think cold calling would be more effective in terms of individual cold calling, but I think I want to, I don't want to be too involved in the finding the deal process.
Okay, and then when you're going to be texting or calling, like what's your script? Going towards people with numerous properties. Like, how are you approaching them? Are you just approaching them from a perspective of, hey, are you interested in selling your property, or are you doing something else? Like, for example, if like you would call me and I'm a homeowner, I have 10 properties. How would you approach me on a cold call?
So that's something that we can break down that I'm doing. I'm going live. I'm going to do a YouTube video with my integrator. He has a fractional integration company, right? His name's Gage. He has a company that he just launched where he'll be integrating systems for all the investors company, right? So like he's an integrator for my business, and so sometimes some people come to him and say, hey, can you just integrate my business the way you have Kevin set up, and you would just be a copy and paste of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a YouTube video with Gage, the owner of the company, and break down my entire break down my entire text scripts as they go out. Because sometimes my initial text that will go out to the agents will be very different than it will be for third or fourth or fifth messages. So I don't want to really break that down just yet because I want to have a separate video for that. So I'll keep an eye out on my YouTube because there's so many
Okay.
sentences.
And are you also going to go direct to agent for seller financing as well, or only direct to seller?
Direct to agent and direct to seller.
Oh, you're okay. So you're also going to go direct to agent as well. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Is that going to be a lot? Is it also texting or calling as well?
It's going to be mainly texting.
Texting.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I don't really have a big cold call operation. We don't
Okay.
honestly, like, we don't really do a lot of cold calling.
Got it. Okay. Okay, because that's basically what my business consists of, is cold calling. Do you guys use what service do you use for texting? Do
It's
you
called it's called button leads.
button leads?
Yeah, buttonleads.com/Kevin.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Okay.
yeah, you can just, if you schedule a call with them and you just say, hey, can you set up my CRM the way you have Kevin set up, he'll do that for you.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Jessica put the link down in the chat, so make sure you use that.
Okay.
Or at least check it out.
but elite says BUTTON.
Yes.
Got it.
It's in the
Okay.
chat. It's in the chat.
It's in the chat. Gotcha. Okay. And then can it be integrated with any CRM or?
Oh, I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So this is for texting. Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Texting, cold
uh,
calling, and direct mail. It has all integrated.
didn't you used to do a lot of cold calling in the beginning?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you just switch to texting and it just open up a lot easier,
Yeah, it's more scalable in my opinion.
more scalable.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Even with all the new laws coming out and all that
Hey,
other
Mike,
stuff.
you're getting to the weeds.
Yeah.
Sorry. I do have to be mindful because we have about 30 minutes. I want to make sure we answer all the questions.
Gotcha.
But
All right. Thank you.
yes. Um, it's not that I don't want to answer it. It's like if I answer too many, like we can go into loopholes and like we can get into weeds of very technical stuff. So, Ricardo.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to ask, I'm at work, so I really can't talk that loud, but I wanted to ask, I have the tools, I understand them, and I know how to use them, but the structuring, I suck. Like I just, and I want to learn. So through examples and iterations, I think I can. Is there maybe a YouTube video that you might do, breaking down structures, examples?
Like seller finance structures?
Mhm. Just to give people like template ideas.
Yeah. I have it. It's very similar from one text to another. So,
Yeah, I understand.
so I will have that video up because I do understand.
Gotcha.
Because you just because at the end of the day, everybody here just wants all the scripts really work, but what I think you should do is just use what I'm already doing with my CRM and just have Gage just copy and paste exactly that.
Okay.
There's no reason for
I
you to
DM'd you.
the scripts. Just copy and paste
Mhm.
exactly what I'm doing and then just implement it in your own market.
I DM'd you as well on Instagram, but I appreciate it. Thank you. You can go on and answer anybody else's questions.
Of course.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. A couple things I do want to mention is the forewarned, the background search thing. Like I said, I've never not gotten anyone's number, and it's only $15 a month, okay? But you have to 15 or 20, yeah. Robert says $20 a month, and you have to be an agent. And if you're not an agent, you can partner with an agent and you can get access to it that way. I am not an agent, but I have access to it. Right? Yeah. Creatively seller financing your license. That's what you call it. Hector says, Kevin, do you have a handy promo code I could use to activate PropStream? And Bern, I think my PropStream code is just Kevin, right? / Kevin.
That's correct. I do believe so. Hold on, let me double check. But yeah, if you're too eager or if you're already signed up and you forgot, just make sure you call customer support and let us know. But I do believe, yeah, that's right. Just / Kevin. So let me put it in the chat for everybody there. So
what do
that
they
link is for those that haven't signed up. Just go ahead and punch in your contact information and your username. It's going to ask for billing just to make sure you're really a person and not some bot trying to scrape data. But that's it. Once you sign up for that trial link, you get the 7-day trial period, and then it's $97 a month with Kevin's link.
Yeah. So this is what I did when I first started out with Max Maxwell, is I would create a new account every week so that I don't get charged. All right. But this was when I was like 19. All right. I legitimately didn't have any money. All right. So if you really need PropStream access, email Jessica. And if you don't have her email, that sucks. But I don't know if she picked her two people yet, but we are giving away 2 months 2 months of free PropStream to 12 different people. And guys, this is worth probably $2,500. Not probably, this is worth $2,500 and more. And Burden is giving it away for free. So please do not abuse it. If you're in a position where you can afford it, please just pay for it. But if you're really in a position where like, dude, my money is really, really tight, please let Jessica know. And I do want to, you know, like for me, like I can afford PropStream, so like I'm not gonna email Jessica and say, hey, can I get 2 months of free PropStream? If you can afford it, please pay for it on your own. But if you're not, if you're in a hard spot, let Jessica know. And I do want to give it away to people that actually do need it. And if you're not even gonna use it, please don't ask Jessica for it. Okay. Or you can network with people in the side chat, and you guys can make a group account, and you guys can split the bill. So it'd be, I think after like 4 people, it's like $45 a month, $50 a month or something, right, Burton? So it's
Yeah,
really,
that's correct.
yeah. So if you can group of, if you get a group of people that wants to join in an account and everybody splits the bill, it's very affordable. So I wouldn't recommend.
We also have team members that like you guys end up building your team out as well. Please don't buy a separate account, because we get people that do that. They're like, oh, I got an intern, and so let me buy another account for them. Don't do that. For a fraction of the cost, you can get a separate username and password, and they log into your account. So you actually get to see the list that they're building, and you get to control their marketing budget and how many properties they get to save, and so forth. So just whatever you do, don't buy a separate account for your business partner. Just consider maybe sharing one account and just having 2 separate usernames. And then to Kevin's point, if you're just starting out, consider working together and putting it together to take care of the $99, and then hopefully you guys see some success and then mold your way out of that and go from there.
Right. So deal, the link, Jessica, can you put the link down one more time so people know it's a free 7-day free trial? And so if you want to use it, go ahead. If not, totally fine. No, if you don't need that in your business, that's fine. And then I do want to emphasize that if I would love to do deals with everybody on here. I do majority of my businesses come from JV opportunities. So if you are here, and you have any seller finance opportunities, either DM me on Instagram or dealswithkevin.com, which Jessica will put the link down below, and that's it. So, and hey, Burton, I know, hey, Burton, I appreciate you for always, carving out your time, and I want to. I'm just so thankful. Thank you so much for hopping on the phone call for 2 hours. It's a lot of time.
Of course, man.
And
Dude, I love doing this because I love what you guys are doing. Again, you're going to hear me say this again. You guys are like my role models. You guys are always on the forefront handling these homeowners and their problems. And I always say at the end of the day, that actually affects the community as a whole, right? One homeowner staying in the community could affect the community in the long run. So I don't mind giving you guys my time. I just hope you guys, learn something from it and take from it. But then at the same time, I always like to say, give us your feedback. Like, let us know if there's things that we can do better on our end, because we know our responsibility as a software provider or data provider, that if we can get the data better, if we get the product better, it helps you solve problems faster. So please, if you have any suggestions or recommendations, support at propstream.com. We'd love to hear it. But thank you guys so much for what you do. Thank you, Kevin, again.
thank you. On this Zoom, we will email you the video recording so that you can go back and watch it. And then if you guys have any ideas on how to even call these sellers, I have a video on my YouTube channel on how to call these seller finance deals. I have probably like collectively 30 hours of calls, just on seller and agent calls, and I have about 10 more hours just ready to be uploaded. So, guys, I really wish that 2024 is the year of abundance, and you guys all buy one rental at least. And wow, and you guys will look back at this and say, I remember when I watched PropStream Zoom with Burn and Kevin, and I didn't have any rentals, and now I have 10. I found my Tom, and I got all these opportunities. So I just wish nothing.
Go find your Tom.
Yeah, everybody go
I like
find your
that,
Tom.
man.
I wish nothing but
Go
best
find your
of luck.
Tom.
Yeah, go find your Tom. I wish nothing but best of luck to you guys. And I'll send out the recordings once I am done editing. So love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Thank you, Burton. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for sticking through 1 hour and 9 minutes of just going through this video. And you know what? I was going to finish off the video right there and then, but I just wanted to hop on here and just show my appreciation to you guys, because for me, you know, it means a lot that you guys are actually taking action and you guys are actually going out and, you know, changing the legacy of your family down the road. All right, so guys, I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you, and I wish nothing but luck in all your careers, and I love you guys. Bye.